Morning, people. How are we all today? We'll just get Facebook on board, then we'll get today's show underway. Now, great weekend. Lovely walk on Saturday. And a quick shift Saturday night. And then lovely day off Sunday. So having the day off on Sunday means that I'm a wee bit rough today. So I'm not really in the mood for the nonsense in the papers. But as it's a bank holiday Monday and I'm also off today, that's Facebook on board. We'll just go on with it. Anyway, as Stephen Bankers pointed out in the comments, new t-shirt today, got it Saturday. An old friend and campaigner, John Love, has turned his hand to designing t-shirts. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check out his Facebook page. I'm sure he'll have images up there. And he's selling these things at 20 quid a pop. Bargain. Good quality t-shirt. Nice image. Good imagination. Right, we're just waiting for the Facebookers again. Who's in? Hi Sandy. Hi Hugh. Hi Stephen. Hi Peter M. Hi Stephen Nicol. Hi Ackies. Hi Wolfie. Eddie. June. Andy Scott Brian. I'm sure I've seen Ange in there somewhere or not. Let's school rest down. Hi Liz. Hi Margaret. Hi Harry. Still no Facebookers on board. That must be the bloody bank holiday. Right, anyway, numbers are climbing nicely, and well, we've been the bank holiday and a beautiful day, so I want to get outside, so let's get into this. It's Indy Truck Davey out the truck, not home in his office in Salford, North Lancashire, where it's not bad this morning. Sort of partly cloudy. Sun's out at the moment, 8 degrees, no rain in the forecast, which is good. Good morning, Melanie. It was lovely to see you on Saturday, my dear. No rain in the forecast. They say temperatures expected to go up to a high of 14 degrees. Pollen counts low. Sarah and I are going to go for a picnic. There you go. So right after this programme, I'm going to nip out and grab a bottle of sparkling wine. Sarah's going to sort out a wee picnic. And we're going to go out in the hill for a wee walk. Sounds like a plan. Right, so let's get started, shall we? We're up over the 100 mark. First up this morning, we have the Scotsman. I'll stick it up. This is a cracking headline, actually, this one. Love it. Swinney, I fear Farage will be the next Prime Minister. SNP leader says very real possibility makes him fearful of what lies ahead. Well, there's a couple of things there. Okay, we'll bring it down while I get into the couple of things that are there. For a start, one of the things about that is it would appear that our neighbours south of the border have gone batshit crazy. They were always right of centre. We were always left of centre here in Scotland, and we sort of were the firefighters to keep them at bay. But because their governments have been so shite for so long, and they have no credible alternative, it's allowed a snake oil salesman to come through the middle. And as they don't have a credible alternative as we do here in Scotland, where we've got Labour, Tory, SNP, Reform has come through to fill that gap in the middle. And they're batshit crazy. And they're led by a bunch of multi-millionaire stroke billionaire businessmen who can actually afford to manipulate the public in England to the point where they have went batshit crazy. There are still a fair few sane people in England, but they're pulling their own fucking hair out. So if you want to spot the sane people in England right now, look out for men with no hair and women with thin hair. Because they're pulling their hair out at how batshit crazy the rest of their cousins south of the border have gone. But as I say, the reason for it is quite simple. Whereas here in Scotland we had a credible alternative to Labour and Conservative, they had nothing down that road. Nothing. For some reason, the Lib Dems just don't appeal to them, and they're no interested in green issues. And as they've always been leaning right of centre, as a nation, it was easy for the snake oil salesman and his multi-billionaire pals to come through the middle to fill the gap. Of course, the other reason for it is, of course, that we're in intellectual decline in the West, as well as moral and economic decline. You'll hear me using these terms more and more often, but we are definitely in intellectual decline, and there's good reason for it. When we were kids, we wanted to find something out, we went to the fucking library. New kids sit at their desk, type a question into the machine, and AI gives them the answer. So they don't fucking have to do the investigative work, which had your mind moving back in the day. So we are in moral, economic, and intellectual decline here in the West, as we invent more and more things to make our life easier, even to do our thinking for us. And that leads to things like what's happening next door, in the country next door. Technology is a wonderful thing if you use it for what it's meant to be, but it can be manipulated the same way people can be manipulated. And that was the clever thing about reform. They knew that England was right of centre. They just had to set their political parties up, the right of centre. And now we've got a batshit crazy England next door. There are sane people there. Like Liberty this week has managed to overturn the anti-protest laws, which is good. Maybe they'll start to get their heads back together. And maybe they'll start looking at reform for what they are. And look at Farage for what he's done. Because all that man's done since he's been platformed by the media is make the people of England poorer and widen the equality gap. What can you say? Right, next up we have the Herald. And it goes totally on sport. Well, it is a bank holiday, you know. Apparently it's Fergie time at Ibrox because they got a one each draw with a ticket the weekend, apparently. And Rob Robertson says the British and Irish Lions ripping off supporters in bid to cash in real low point. No idea. Rugby. I'm no a sports journalist. I'm not a journalist at all, actually, but I'm not a sports observer. Right, Old Firm fallout. Rangers condemn Tifo as Rogers reveals Maida's dash from Japan. I have no fucking idea what any of this shit's about, and I've no inclination to look it up. So, sports your bag, you'll know what this crap's all about. If sports know your bag, you'll know. Right, next up with the scum, and it says Beckham's boozy 50s bash, party shot by council at 3 AM on noise. Who cares? Who gives a shit? And apparently, him and his wife fell out with one of their children. So one of the children, apparently the child's name is Brooklyn. Wow. Right, what's the rancid goat for the days? You know, I don't put these two rags up, folks. I don't put Murdoch's rag up because it's Murdoch's rag. I don't put the rancid up because Hit printed the vow, the lie. When Yes got out in front, Westminster broke further. and come up and made an offer to people of Scotland which has never been fulfilled. So they're not entitled to space on my screen. Right, I'm going to say their answer. What's their answer go for us? Hit Tails is major. Exclusive 10 billion tournament time bomb. And it tells us that the old sandstone tournaments, which are the cornerstones of our cities, are in decay and decline. Well, sandstone's quite a soft material. But it was a cheap and easy building material at the time. Is it going to cost 10 billion to replace it all or repair it all? Probably. Most of them have been around for 100 plus years. But I don't think it's a problem for the authorities. They sold all them off years ago. It is a problem for the tenants, the owners. Right, where we go next? We've got the Daily Field. I'll put that up. First of the right wing loony rags. And what's the Daily Field right wing English paper got for us a day? Major terror plot by Iran is foiled. 8 held in raids by special forces and met. What do you make of this? Trump's failing administration is what I make it. Because every time you get one of these UK governments or American governments who are failing administrations, they start another fucking war. So, is Trump going to start a war with Iran to divert the attention of the American people away from the disaster that he's created worldwide? It's every possibility, folks. Every possibility. But that's what I make of that fucking headline. Let's face it, if we stayed out of these people's fucking businesses, they stayed thousands of miles away. They've no gripe with us. None. We just keep our nose out their fucking business. They can sort their own shit out. They're all grown ups. Thanks, Alistair. Now, I'll need to go down the bank tomorrow, folks. The plan was to go today, but Davey forgot it was a bank holiday today, didn't he? Spanner. Ah, well. Right, next up we have the other loony right-wing rag, published here in Scotland. Well, sold here in Scotland, but manufactured in England. What's this one got? 99-year-old war veteran who fought the Nazis thanks Britain, but urges, please don't give up your Ukraine support now. They tell us it's close to a peace deal, and that Ukraine's about to shrink by about 50%. This should have been stoked collectively by Europe in 2014. Never mind the Americans, but by Europe in 2014 when they took over the Crimea. That's the point at which Putin should have been put back in his box. But now it's too late, folks. And even if this particular phase of the war ends, it's not over. Putin wants it all. He wants back the old Russian Empire. He'll get it. Thanks you. He'll get it. And he'll get it because we didn't push back at the right time. This particular phase of Putin's operation might come to an end, but the seed's been planted. Putin will not last forever. I'll put that one up, put that one up. Putin will not last forever. But the seed's been planted, and what comes behind them, you'll be thinking along the same lines. Right. So that was the Express. Next up we have the National. I'll stick it up. What's the National got for us a date? Investigate Trump and Scotland. Our 5-day special series starts today. How successful are Trump's Scottish businesses really? We open the books. Why we need an unexplained wealth order into US president's firms. Unexplained wealth order. That says all there is to say about Trump and his Scottish businesses. The billionaire Trump's worth about fuck all, except for what he can rape out of the MAGA. £5, every little helps, and we are a community here. Thank you, Stephen. We are. It was nice to see you the weekend, by the way. Community is important, folks. It's how we make things better. How we make things better collectively for us all. Hey, Dean, I hope you're out of hospital, dear boy. I've seen that you were having some problems health-wise. You look after yourself, Dean. Right, so Trump's businesses. Unexplained wealth order. Aye, get on with it. That way we can take 8 chunks of our territory back and tell Trump to go and fuck off. Right, what's the eye got for us today? Labour hopes immigration crackdown can halt reform UK. Labour have learned nothing and Starmer's is thick as fuck. He's trying to out reform Farage. What Starmer needs today and what the Labour Party need today, and I don't want to really tell them this, but I will. They need to stand up and tell the people of England how important immigration is to their economy. How they need it because they're not producing enough young people themselves. And if they don't have this immigrant labour force, they won't be able to pay the pensions of the future. What Labour need today is stand up to this nonsense instead of buying into this fucking nonsense. It's time people started talking sense to the people doing that fucking road. One of the reasons why they're batshit crazy is because nobody's talking sense to them. They're buying into this white supremacist shit. You could not make this up. And I mean, you could not make this up. If it wasn't for immigration, we couldn't run the National Health Service. If it wasn't for immigration, none of our public services would work. From social care to social work to education, none of it would work. And yet there's nobody standing up and saying, oh, you fucking idiots, here's the facts. And now we've got the Labour Party trying to out Farage on racism. The world's gone batshit crazy. Sorry, let me rephrase that. England's gone batshit crazy. And the press and the political leaders are allowing it to happen. Moral, economical, intellectual decline. The USA and the UK are the poster boys for it. And I mean that sincerely. Moral, economic, and intellectual decline. And the US and the UK are the poster boys for what's happening in the West. Right, next up's The Guardian, I think. Let's have a look. We'll put it up if I've got it. If I've not, I can't go and grab it because there's no newspaper reviewing Sky and the BBC today. I had to go and turf out all the paper headlines myself. Yeah, right, okay. I still have hope. That's Pussy Riot, the Russian band. They still have hope. Good for them. Starmer urged to avoid simplistic words to the right after reform success. Simplistic looks to the right. It would appear that the press has a very short memory. Labour looks to the right under Tony Blair. Starmer's just taking it a wee bit further to the right. In fact, a lot further to the right. But, I've seen young commentators on YouTube and on the mainstream media talking about this particular incarnation, or Tony Blair's incarnation of the Labour Party as being left of centre. These people are fucking delusional. The English establishment and media are allowing it because they are racist themselves. They're racist themselves, class action. They are. The establishment is racist. And racism has been a big problem in all our public services. As we know, with investigation and report, investigation and report, investigation and report, into police, into the civil service, into government itself. And the boss said fucking racist. White supremacist. But they say, but this notion of Starmer lurching further to the right, there's nothing left but the fucking slippers to come off and the jackboots to go on. They say, fortunately, Liberty have just struck back in behalf of human rights because they overturned Suella Braverman's clampdown on public protest last week in the Supreme Court. You won't have heard about it in the mainstream media, but I'm telling you about it. Thanks, Dean, and thanks to you and your dad, and another one of the people we met in the way round you on Saturday. There was another £40 went into the bank on Saturday when I got back for the March for the food bank fund. Thank you guys very much. They say it'll be going out the door tomorrow. The charities have been identified. They say I was going to do it today, but I forgot it was a bank holiday. Right. So with that was Guardian, simplistic move to lurch to the right. They lurched to the right a long time ago. Now only they're at the point where the next step's the jack fucking boots. That's what's next. Right, what's the Financial Times got for us today? Well, Financial Times had an interesting headline, so I thought I'd put it up today. I don't normally put the FT up. China exporters plot path through third countries to dodge Trump's tariff. Now, I wanted to put this one up and translate it for you because it goes back to something that David Milligan said in the debate on Scottish independence between 2012 and 2014. So let me rewrite this headline for you, okay? Businessmen exporters plot path through third countries to dodge Trump's tariffs. Now, the question David and I were asked back in the day between 2012 and 2014, and remember, David and I have both been businessmen. I was a small businessman running my logistics company. David had a bigger communication company. And David said something at the time of the debate, and that was, businessmen will find a way. You can fuck as much regulation on the table as you want, but we'll find a way. You can put up a border if you want. We'll find a way. You can fuck on tariffs if you want. We'll find a way. Business people do business, and you find a way to do it. No matter what sort of shite government's put in front of you. And that's the hard truth of business. If you want to survive in that dog-eat-dog world, where you're actually running the business rather than being the employee, then you have to be inventive, you have to be creative, and you have to be able to find a way. Businesses have been doing it for as long as I've been alive, and as long as anybody on this bloody programme's viewing numbers today has been alive, and it will continue to be that way as long as people want to trade with each other. Yeah. Did, did I know, David, you could not find a brown shirt anywhere in England? Strange, eh? Right. Now, of course, being a bank holiday, we expect some nonsense in the Star, but to be honest, most of the headlines today have been fucking nonsense. But this idea of Starmer taking the Labour Party, right? Is the press a week late in fucking running? Sorry. Is the press fucking 30 years late in running? Blair took them to the right in fucking 1997. Fuck's sake. And then, of course, the Chinese plot way through. The Chinese government did no such fucking thing. US businessmen and Chinese businessmen are plotting routes to get the goods to each other. Nothing to do with governments. Nothing to do with governments. It's going to do with the people in business in America and the people in business in China finding a way to continue to do business with each other. That's what business does. It was always going to happen. There's no fucking rocket science. As I say, but that headline, I put it up today because it reminded me of something that the other David said in the debates between 2012 and 2014, and that was if there was a border put on it, if there was a hard border between Scotland and England, doesn't matter, business will find a way. Okay, what's the Star go for us today? After all, it's a bank holiday. Let's see if we get some good nonsense for us. Don slashes NASA budget, Trump dumps ED. Let me rewrite that for the Daily Star. I don't normally have to rewrite their nonsense, but let me rewrite this for the Daily Star. Trump gives NASA's budget to Elon Musk. There you go. That's for you American taxpayers. He's just shut down your National Space Association and given the money to Musk, the failing owner of and right-wing Nazi git in charge of Tesla. Don't buy a swastika, folks. But that's that headline summed up in a nutshell. Trump dumps NASA and gives money to Musk. That was fun. I don't normally have to rewrite the Star headline for it. Now, folks, bank holiday today. Have a good, relaxing day if you're not working. If you're working, fucking tough. £1 for every bank holiday or what? I'd be a rich man. But as it is, I'm just a happy man. And I don't think you could ask for much more than that. Last weekend was a cracking weekend away with good friends. Friends who we met through campaigning and raising money for charity. This Saturday, to my shame, Jackie, I hope you're watching. Sweetheart, I did not recognise you, Jackie. You look so bloody good. The sunglasses didn't help. But fuck me, you haven't aged a day in 10 years, Jackie. Wow. To say to my shame, I didn't recognise Jackie. But everybody else who I met and old friends and the campaigners had a great time. A great time at the weekend. So I'm a happy man. Might not be a rich man, but I'm a happy man. And having you guys as part of the community and the work we do together to help our communities makes me a happy man too. So I couldn't ask for much more. And 173 people watching this wee live show also makes me happy because I see channels with 5 times the subscribership of ours not being able to hit that amount of people live. But we have built a great sense of community here, and that makes me a very happy man. And this community And the people that Sarah and I associate with, including you people, make me proud. Make me proud of what we do for others and what we do to support each other. Alright? Now, as you know, folks, I can't broadcast tomorrow morning. I've got to be at Wishaw General University Hospital, Wishaw. Funny enough, all the hospitals in North Lanarkshire are university hospitals. And they serve the whole of Lanarkshire. But I was thinking about that this morning. Anyway, I've got to go to University Hospital, Wishaw tomorrow to get some tests done. I don't know why. I'm fine. I don't feel ill or anything like that. But I showed up at a doctor's a wee while back because of a heavy chest during the winter. And she said it was chest infection. So she sent me for some tests. I think she was a wee bit surprised to see me as I hadn't seen her in 5 or 6 years. But my wife told me, she said, David, don't go to the bloody doctors. I says, how no? She says, once you're over 50, the fuckers don't like you at their claws. And she's right. You usually look after yourself. It was lovely to see you at the weekend again and the weekend before that as well. Anyway, look after yourselves, folks. I'll be back this afternoon with the other Davey. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll see you then. I've got to sit down and now look for write the programme for this afternoon. So we'll see you later. I'm going to nip to the supermarket, get back, write the schedule for this afternoon, and then David and I will get together, talk about it, and we'll be back at 4 o'clock. Don't be late. You're on the naughty step. Fucking rank on again. Naughty step. Bye for now.